Hello YouTube, this is Genius in Exile and I'm going to make soft scrub. Now, preparing for an SHTF situation, there is a large amount of canning, cooking, dehydrating, and you end up making a pretty decent sized mess. But also, in an SHTF situation, there's not really going to be a Walmart to go out to buy soft scrub. And for the money that those bottles cost, you can actually buy a lot of preps with that money, and I'm going to show you how to make it for just pennies. Now, I've got a bar of my laundry-based soap, very hard white plain bar, unscented, and what I'm doing is I'm grating it. Because what I'm going to do is melt it in water. Now this starts out pretty much like laundry soap, except you're going to make it very thick using almost equal amounts of water, and then what I'm going to mix into it is baking soda. I actually have this in a covered container because I'm not doing product placement. I am just trying to show you how to make soft scrub. So here's a baking soda. I'll probably need way more than what's in this container, but this is what I have right now. I'll go get some more if we need it. So I'm grating the bar, and I'll come back to you when I'm done. Alright, I've got all my soap grated, and this is probably about, let's say, 1.5 cups, 2 cups of soap. So it is going to start out a little bit like the liquid laundry soap, except I'm going to put enough water to just barely cover this soap. Okay, so we've got some water here. I'm just going to barely pour it in. I'm spilling. Let's see how that is. Yep, so there's just barely enough, and it's not even really covering. So what I want to do is I want to make sure this is really thick, because I'm going to mix a pretty decent amount of baking soda in here, and I want it to be a really thick solution, not a thin solution, because when you apply it, you want it to be pretty thick. I think in the end this ends up being a little bit thicker than soft scrub, but that's definitely what you want. You don't want it running down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this going, medium-high heat. Yes, I know I probably shouldn't do it that high, but I've done it before like this, never had a problem. And this is supposed to be just a real quick and easy cleaning product, so there's no reason to just baby it. So I'll come back when this is melted. Okay, the soap is really melting. And what I did is I ended up turning it down to about medium heat and using a whisk. And that's okay if you have bubbles in this soap, because once you start mixing in that baking soda, all those bubbles are just going to flatten out. So it's actually just about right. It's okay, there's a few little tiny bits and pieces of soap. So when we mix in that baking soda, it's really just going to flatten it out, because what we're going to do is we're going to mix it while it's hot. So this is about ready. I'm going to get this into a bowl, and then we'll start mixing in the baking soda. Okay, so I've got my soap in the bowl, and it's still really, really hot. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start mixing in the baking soda. Doing stuff one-handed is such an adventure. We're going to start mixing it up, and what I did is I put a hot pad under the bowl, number one, to protect my counter from the really hot soap, and two, to keep my bowl from spinning around as I'm stirring it. So I'm just going to keep stirring this in. I will probably end up adding about 4 cups of baking soda, and as you add this in, you'll actually notice that your soap gets looser and looser, and it'll be easier and easier for you to mix it up, because that baking soda will start to foam a little bit. It's not going to foam over the bowl. It's okay. Just keep mixing it in. Keep mixing in until it turns into a very thick paste. Not completely stiff, because you do at least want to be able to scoop it out of the container that you put it in. But it should end up pretty darn thick. So, that's a nice mess. So I'm going to keep stirring this, and I'll come back to you when I'm done. Okay, so I have my baking soda mixed up in my soap. I think I probably used about 5 or 6 ounce bar, and I ended up using about 4.5, 5 cups of baking soda. This is a 32 ounce container. It looked a little smaller before I grabbed it, but you can actually see it's pretty big. So this is what you want to end up with. It's a nice thick paste. And this works fabulously. It costs just pennies, because baking soda is cheap. And if you make your own soap, it's also pretty cheap. Now, if you're not making your own soap, you can actually grind up some store-bought soap I really don't recommend ivory because it does leave a bit of a soapy residue. So maybe if you want to use the Phil's naphtha, it'll probably take about 1.5 bars of that, and about the same amount of water as you have soap. And just make sure you cover the soap in water so it'll melt nicely. Then while it's still hot, just mix in your baking soda. Now, I did add about 4.5, 5 cups of baking soda, and you're probably thinking, okay, that's a lot, but this is really going to last. You really don't need that much. I mean, you use just so little because it's so effective, because you're using great soap like Phil's naphtha or your own, and baking soda is really great scrubbing properties. It's just wonderful stuff, and it's natural. I mean, if you can eat it, you can definitely use it to clean your house. So, with just those 3 ingredients, soap, water, and baking soda, let's go see how this works. Okay, so here's my shower door. Shame to say, it's been a little while since I've cleaned it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of soft scrub. You can actually see I just rubbed some off. And I got a nice little scrubby sponge here. Let's see how well this works. Now, it really shouldn't take a whole lot of scrubbing because this stuff is, a great scour. And plus, when you use something soap-based to wash soap off, it works pretty well. Now, if you find that you have a hard time getting this off, a little squirt of vinegar, because the baking soda will foam right up, plus it neutralizes the soap. So, holy smokes, look at that. You can see my towels. See? So it actually works pretty well. I spent maybe a few seconds scrubbing that one area. Didn't even get any more. I'm just scrubbing one more area here. And boop. Nice. So it works pretty well, I think. I've been using this for years, and it's cheap as can be to make. And yes, I know I need to clean the rest of my shower door, but I've been busy making fun of Ironhead 41, and that takes time. That definitely takes time. So, here you go. Just make a quick, easy job of your cleaning. It'll save you money. It's easy to make, and it'll give you a really great feeling of accomplishment when you're done. To know that you saved your family money using great ingredients and getting it clean. So I'm going to finish cleaning up my shower because I think it's a little overdue. Prep honestly and take care. See? All clean. Didn't even know that door was there, huh? See? I cleaned my bathroom. I no longer hang my head in shame.